podcast with your brother, Oh God, and SamAnt. Going in today on this Tuesday, everybody listening on YouTube, y'all already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. Okay, today, man, it was some sad news that came, by way of Empire, star Jussie Smollett. We found out earlier that he was attacked brutally by two men, who beat him up and put a noose around him and screamed, "This is MAGA country." Now, sources directly connected to Jussie, hopefully I'm saying his name right, no disrespect, tell TMZ that the actor arrived in Chicago from New York late Monday around 2 a.m. He said he was hungry, went to Subway, and he said shortly after, when he was on his way home, he said he was, startled by somebody yelling out, "Aren't you that, effing," or that, effing, the F word, on Empire, N word. Now, Jussie is saying that both men were white, wearing ski masks. They viciously attacked him. Once again, put a rope around his neck, noose, poured bleach on him. And then after that, yelled, "This is MAGA country." Now, Jussie did, escort himself to the hospital where he was discharged early Tuesday morning. And, the media outlet started picking, this up. And we do know he was receiving 8 days prior, some hate mail, that was racially charged as well, racist and, homophobic as well, in nature. SamAnt, what do you think about, your initial thoughts on seeing, Empire star? And you were making some, interesting connections, with his family earlier. But what do you think about hearing this, man, initially? What are your thoughts? What's your feelings on this one?
Well, let me just start by saying, and it has no relevance to the conversation or the context. I don't watch Empire. I'm not an Empire fan. I've never really been into it. I know the general conversation. I know the cast of characters. I know that he's on the show. Definitely I know what character he is and all that good stuff. Well, from a personal perspective, this is terrible. This is sad. This is sad on the real to see. This is stuff that you used to hear stories about our parents telling that used to happen in the 60s and our grandparents used to talk about happening. These aren't things that you remember happening in your day and age, especially in the day and age with your children walking around, that a black man that happens to want to sleep with whoever he wants to sleep with can be subjected to such hate to where he has a noose around his neck, bleach thrown on him, and beaten to where his ribs are torn up, and he has to feel like he's about to be hung just for going to grab something to eat in 2019.
Do you think this was a setup? Because we talked, in the pre-production extensively about how ironic is it that, he's leaving Subway and, somebody just randomly sees him, has a noose or rope, has ski mask, and just gets into a fight with him, pours bleach on him, and wraps a rope around his neck and say, "This is MAGA country." Do you think this was a setup or just maybe something random? What do you feel about that aspect of it?
He was definitely set up. There's no doubt. Because, I mean, unless there's some real fucked up people out there, I don't know anybody that just has nooses in their back seat or in their trunk just randomly hanging around, or mask, that see a perfect situation at 2 a.m. to where they go, "Oh yeah, that's the dude we've been looking for. Remember, that's the guy we sent the hate mail to. Perfect. Let's get him now." No, that had to been someone that was staking him, probably caught him from the airport, was watching his moves, seen the perfect situation at the perfect time, and caught him slipping. Now, my question was, and the thing that really frustrates me is, this wouldn't happen in other cultures. This all reminds me of Emmett Till, and I'm gonna bring the correlation together. Obviously, if we don't know Emmett Till, the young man in Mississippi who was lynched brutally for supposedly whistling at a young lady and apparently groping her, Carol Ann Bryant, back in the 40s. Now, was it back in the 40s and the 50s? Excuse me, at 55. And it was disgusting, but those white people weren't playing it. They thought it had happened. They took care of their business. We see it in the Asian community. We see it in the Arab community, Middle Eastern community. We see it in even the Hispanic community to a certain degree. They don't play that. And we see a lot of people on social media very upset and throwing pictures and showing outrage. But I'm not trying to condone any sort of violence, but I'm maybe kind of condoning some sort of violence. When are we going to go ahead and bust somebody's head to the white meat to let them know they can't do this kind of stuff? What's up?
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's rough. It's a real horrible situation. You know what I mean? For him to have to go through this on two fronts, them making the jokes, or threats and whatnot about him being, a homosexual. And him, the reference to his skin color. It's something that we've been going through, and it's a reoccurring thing that's been happening. And people stack the conversation nobody really wants to deal with in this country. It's racism, and we see clearly here that people, targeted this guy. This is a hate crime, and could have killed him. By all accounts. And there's no anything to say that these are connected. These are the same people, that sent them the hate mail. We don't know that yet, but it's pretty crazy that this could happen, in America right now. It really is. You know what I mean?
What I don't want to see is this victim shit. And let me be very clear what I mean by that is I'm tired of going. Now, let's make no mistake, this brother was a victim in a situation. He was assaulted by two men that ambushed him, had a noose around his neck. This is a victim. He was a victim in this situation. But we cannot go and play the victim role. No, we got to get a little offensive in this situation. We got to start pushing back. We can't just sit back and go, oh, no, he was the victim. Fuck that. What's going to happen? So what? They're not going to help the situation. Are they going to find the guys? Maybe, maybe not. Are they going to care enough? Maybe, maybe not. Are we just going to be outraged on social media for a week, take a couple pictures, throw a couple hashtags up, and forget about it tomorrow? Or are we going to push back? Now, you've seen T.I. We talked about T.I. often on this podcast. Like him. Whether you agree with what he does or not, it's up to you. He was probably sharing the same sentiments as I. Like, when are we going to start pushing back? I don't know to what level we got to start doing that, but they got to understand. And they could be whoever the fuck they want. You cannot just shoot us and there just be nothing going on but a bunch of marches. You can't just go ahead and assault somebody in the street because of who he sleeps with and the color of his skin because you think you're justified in doing so. No, right. You can't do that.
Right.
We have legal rights sitting in this country to defend ourselves too.
Absolutely.
And somebody should have did. No, go ahead.
I want to play with Lee Daniels. He was very. Lee Daniels was very. Today. Vocal about this. So I'll play it right now. Here's Lee Daniels.
It's taken me a minute to come to social media about this because, Jussie, you are my son. You didn't deserve, nor anybody deserves, to have a noose put around your neck, to have bleach thrown on you, to be called die, faggot, nigga, or whatever they said to you. You are better than that. We are better than that. America is better than that. It starts at home. It starts at home, yo. We have to love each other, regardless of what sexual orientation we are. Because it shows that we are united on a united front. And no racist fuck can come in and do the things that they did to you. Hold your head up, Jussie. I'm with you. I'll be there in a minute. It's just another fucking day in America.
That clip, by way of Lee Daniels dropping that today on his Instagram, I believe. What are your thoughts, man? You had a lot of different facial expressions over there. I want to know what you think first on this when you're on the hot seat. What do you think about Lee Daniels?
You sure you don't want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You sure you don't want to go first?
Nah, I want you to. People want you to go first.
This the victim shit I was talking about. And with all due respect, fuck that whole shit. And this is why. You had a conversation personally with this man because we all know it because you took a screenshot and you shared it on social media. Then you take it upon yourself to go on social media and make this announcement from the bottom of your heart on how this is wrong. No shit. This is real Jesse Jackson-ish if you don't kind of smell what the Rock is cooking on this situation. This is bullshit. This is attention being drawn to him. Who cares? You talk to him personally. If you felt this way, you leave it there and you keep it moving. Maybe I'm from a different age where we don't got to pull out our fucking phones and make announcements every time we have a conversation. Right. If this were to happen to you, the last thing I'm doing is getting on my phone and giving a fucking about anything. Right. Getting down there and making sure you're good. We're finding out who this is and we're taking it from there. Right. I'm not worried about making a fucking announcement to the people and letting them know how wrong this was.
Right.
And this is wrong. You're not being sorry. Lee. It's uncensored truth.
That's Lee, you know what I mean? Being Lee, you know what I mean? Just, that's just him, man. Just leaving. It is what it is with that, man.
No, you can tell me how you feel about this. Oh God, you're gonna say it.
Let me know
what you feel about Mr. Daniels. Go ahead. I mean, Mr. Daniels. That's funny.
I didn't expect. I know, right? I didn't expect him. I really didn't expect him to say, anything. But I think a lot of people are going to agree with what he said. They're gonna be like, yeah, we should love all people regardless of their sexual orientation.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be racist, but there's all those things, here, in this country. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? With your platforms that you got, you're gonna, we see what they're doing with their platforms, and I think that's enough to be said there.
Yeah, let me bring this back into context, because in 2019 we got to bring everything into context. I could be taken way out of context by what I just said. 100% agree. We got to love everybody. Say that numerous times on here. Love everybody. We know that. It's fucked up what they're doing to black people out here. We say that numerous times when he has sent the truth. That brother did not deserve to go with what he goes through. But if you're genuine in what you say and what you feel, it doesn't have to be recorded and made announced. That's some Jesse Jackson shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we'll just leave it there. You know what I mean? With that, I think that is what it is. But yeah, man.